Hi guys, Chris here from USP Motorsports. Today we are going to be walking you through an install for Spulen Engineering's new Mark IV, Mark V, Mark VI 6-speed transmission short shifter. We have a 3/8 ratchet, small hammer or mallet. We have a 13mm deep socket. We have a 3/8 extension, preferably 20 inches or greater, and a pair of needle nose pliers. We'll go ahead and start the install now. Okay guys, once we have the intake off, we're going to go ahead and move on to the short shifter install. Where the short shifter is located, just under the battery. What you have to take off is one 13mm nut in the middle and one clip right here. We'll be reusing both of these parts. We're going to go ahead and start with a pair of needle nose pliers with taking off this clip here by just simply grabbing it, lifting it up, prying it out. Just careful not to misplace this clip. Once we do that, we can go ahead and lift up the shifter mechanism, get that out of the way. Now we are able to move on to remove the 13mm nut. I chose to use a long extension here, which will come in handy in a second, which I'll show you. Now when doing that, the short shifter will lock in gear. Now once that is loose and you back it all out, what you want to do is you want to turn it back about 4 or 5 turns so it's loose. All right, so once we go ahead and undo this bolt with our large extension, it's going to come in handy because we are going to take this hammer here and we are going to tap on the top of this extension. We're going to break the shaft that goes up into the short shifter. We're going to break it free from there so you don't have to struggle to get it off. Hammer, give it a few whacks. Make sure the short shifter is in neutral. Undo the bolt and the shifter will pop off with a little bit of resistance. A quick comparison of the factory short shifter to the right and the Spulen Engineering short shifter to the left. As you can see, they look similar pieces. The only difference between these two, which will make the shorter throws, is the adjustment point. Where the magic happens is all from this shaft. Where the factory one's located, the Spulen Engineering one has an adjustable slot. We start with our Spulen Engineering short shifter, and we're going to go ahead and adjust it before we actually install it. Here's the shifter pivot point. The Spulen Engineering shifter actually comes with 2 different pivot points. One for the newer cars, which is a newer Mark IV, 5, and 6. Some of the older Mark IVs, like the older TTs, had a ball pivot joint. First, before you install it, the further you go out, the longer the throws. The further you go in, closer to here, is going to be shorter the throws. I recommend pushing it all the way in and backing out about 1/4 inch. Flip it over, take your nut, tighten it right there. Of course, you can always adjust this later at a later time. It's very easy to do. If you feel it's too notchy, too long, or too short, it's nothing more than a simple change you can actually do in the car, just a little tougher than what I'm doing right now. Go ahead and put that in. Take an 18mm ratchet and you go ahead and tighten it. The bottom, as you can see, will lock in place so you do not have to hold the bottom bolt. Just tighten the top bolt. Get it so it's nice and snug. Then we can go ahead and install the Spulen Engineering short shifter. Before we go ahead and drop it in there, what we're going to do is take a little bit of grease and we're going to go ahead and slide it in here, and this will just make sure that your shift, that it will not get hung up or anything. Also, as you're going to install it, note on the shifter you will see a spot that has a missing tooth. That has to be lined up on the transmission. Make sure that is lined up first before you tighten the bolt. If you tighten the bolt before that's lined up, you could damage the transmission. As you can see, it's now flush before I even put the bolt on. That part is flush right there, which means it is seated in the correct notched position. Go ahead and take your factory 13mm bolt, drop it on there. If you're tightening, the shifter is going to want to swing back, which is fine. Just locks it in position. Go ahead and just tighten till snug. Doesn't need to be super tight. Go ahead and pop the shifter into neutral. Neutral is the position where the shifter will go up and down freely. All right, so once you have your 13mm bolt tight, go ahead and drop your shift linkage on, like so. Go ahead and put your factory clip, the one we took off. Just go ahead and slide it back on. This is the factory bushing. We offer the torque solution bushings that replaces here and into here. And you'll notice as he's gonna go ahead and row through 1 through 6 gears, you're gonna see how much slop and play this bushing has into it. Now we'll even slow down the video for you guys so you can actually see how much that moves and makes, to me, an uncomfortable feeling on the shifter and not a positive engagement. So go ahead and check that out as well as you're looking for short shifter parts. It's a good add-on to this kit. And your short shifter install is complete.